So I am happy that you all are here. I hope you came, with all your questions locked and loaded. If for whatever reason I don't get to your question, feel free to email me later or, put them in the chat and we will definitely try our best to get to them during this session. But if I can't, I will absolutely respond to an email and get you the answer that you're looking for. I am going to present a presentation to you all, but I'm not really good with like really quiet audiences. So, so if you have a question, feel free to unmute and and pause me right there because sometimes I talk really fast and sometimes I ramble. So if you need some clarity or something, don't let me go too far in the presentation before you say like, "Hey, Sydney, wait, can you back up for 1 second and explain that one again?" I promise you I won't be offended, and I promise you it'll be all right. And if you're thinking it, somebody else is thinking it too. So let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Once I share my screen, I won't be able to see you all. So there's also another reason why I need you to say something because I won't be able to see you I won't be able to see the chat and I won't be able to see you all. So, Vanessa, I can see you. So let me make sure, can you see my screen? I know I need to present, but can you see the presentation? Okay.
Just put it in present mode and we can see it. Yep.
Yeah. All right, we're all set. Again, swipe sessions, swipe grants, and so much more. Today is September 9th, 2025. I know that you all got the warning when you joined in, but this session will be recorded. And so that way you can go back to our YouTube playlist, which is also housed on our website, if you need to go back and look at some things that you may have missed or you want to watch the recording. All right. Today's agenda, we're going to do really quickly, welcome and intros, and then the overview, and then questions and answers, and then some updates from Swipe Out Hunger. Really great updates. So I want to start with a welcome. I want to turn it over to our executive director, Jamie Henson, so we can have a really great welcome.
No pressure. Thanks, Sydney. Hi, everybody. So lovely to meet those that I haven't had an opportunity to meet before. My name's Jamie Hansen. I'm the executive director for Swipe Out Hunger. And I was saying, calling out my neighbors up here in the Rocky Mountain West because I live in Boise, Idaho. So if you're out and about this area or you like outdoors, come and visit me. But thank you, first and foremost, for your time to just be here today and talk about all things grants and dollars and cents. These grants, we started about 4 years ago. They were created in response to our campus leader survey. So the survey that you all fill out every year. What we heard from partners then and what we continue to hear from you all every year is that funding is really the barrier to helping students. And that campus leader survey is so important because that's really where Sydney and Vanessa and the rest of our team base off our solutions. So where we create our toolkits, where we create our initiatives like the swipe grants. So thank you for filling that out. We hear you, we read what you write, and we're trying to respond in real time. So the numbers from that campus leader survey, and you can find it on our website. We can drop a link in the chat later on too. It's not lying. You all are doing incredible work. You reported over 800,000 students served last year, but you did that only with about $1.95 per student per year. $2 per student per year, and you were supplying them with food and resources to help them stay in school, to help them achieve their academic goals, and to help your community as a whole. So, whew, take a deep breath. That's a lot, and we appreciate everything that you've been doing. It's wild. Not to be too much of a Debbie Downer, but we know that food costs are going to be increasing, food availability is going to be decreasing, and public benefits are getting cut this year. We know that students need your resources more than ever because of all of these changing elements of our environment. Again, thank you for doing this critical work. The food that you all provide, as I mentioned, keeps students enrolled today, but it also helps them and your community in the long term. So a couple of folks who aren't here on the call that I want to make sure that I call it as our fundraising team. We've got a couple of folks, Renee, Courtney, and Mariela on our fundraising team. Their goal this year is to continue to grow this pool of funds. It's nowhere near where we'd like it to be. Unfortunately, I did not win the $2 billion lottery this last weekend, so we still have some work to do. We have an overwhelming amount of applicants. We see your need. We see how every single campus can use these funds, how impactful these funds will be. Thank you for applying. we're committed to bringing in more dollars to ensure that you get the capacity and the relief that you need on your campus. So know that we're working really hard behind the scenes to make sure that we help support you where we can. So before I turn it back over to Sydney, thank you again for all that you do on and off campus. We know that it extends past your students to your faculty, your staff, the people that work on your campus, the people that work around your campus. The examples and the stories that you share keep me and the rest of our team really passionate about this work. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so very much. And Sydney, I will kick it back over to you.
Thank you, Jamie, for such a warm welcome. And I second everything that you're saying. We absolutely are reading the Campus Leader Survey and the data that you all are collecting and sharing with us. And it absolutely is leading to the programs that we are creating and the initiatives that we are standing behind because we can hear you. We hear you. And so I say this to say thank you for completing the Campus Leader Survey and for filling out all the other surveys that we send you. So thank you for that. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. Again, I can't see all of you all. So my first question to you all, and you can throw it in the chat, is have you all had a chance to review the swipe grants, like the application itself? Okay, I see Lucy shaking her head. I can see you. Okay, great. Well, then, the overview of the swipe grants, the purpose, we want to, support and strengthen the programs that you all are doing on your campus, whether it to be establish a program that is much needed and just hasn't been, invested in, or if it's to expand a program that has already been established and you're ready for it to grow because the need has grown. That is the purpose of the swipe grants, like Jamie mentioned. The method that we are trying to use, the method that we are using, not trying, the method that we are using, we are evaluating based on initiative, institutional characteristics, higher, a higher, a demonstrated higher need. Because I don't like that phrase because everyone on this call is in need. Every student is in need. But there are different factors that we try to, to assess your need, and so that's what we take into account. And then also, we would be remiss not to acknowledge historical underfunding for some institutions, as well as some of the regions around the country that are at a disadvantage. So those are some of the characteristics that we use, or those are some of the characteristics that we use to evaluate the winners of the grant. Again, the goal is to enhance initiatives, capacity to address, your student basic needs. So, ending hunger today. One meal today may keep a student in school tomorrow. So it's not something that we take for granted. It's not something we are not aware of. And we want to help you all do that because they're doing it every day. All right. All right. And so some of the key details, right? So some of the eligibility requirements. There are essentially three real requirements, right? You have to be an official Swipe Out Hunger partner, which means that you have to have completed the uh, memorandum of agreement, the official partnership agreement. It's linked somewhere around here, but it's on our website. And then you have to complete the campus leader survey. We have updated the campus leader survey and the partnership agreement where, because I know a lot of you all had problems with your admin trying to figure out what were we going to ask on the survey, because IRB, you want to make sure that you're not giving away student data. So we added a example of the campus leader survey to the application, so that way you have it a PDF, you can download it, share with those that are giving you a hard time. And there is no mystery about what it is that we're going to be asking. We're not asking for student demographics or personal information at all. Essentially, we're asking how many students you're serving, how many pounds you're distributing, those things. But we put a PDF, a downloadable version, onto the application so that it's ready and available for you so that you can answer the questions to the people that are asking you a gazillion questions. And then finally, we want to make sure that the campus food security program is located in the United States. At this time, we're just not capable, we're not able to provide outside of the United States. We do have some partners that are in Canada and in Mexico. We aren't able to provide resources to programs outside of the United States just yet. But if Jamie wins that $2 billion, then maybe who knows? Um, the grants are up to $6,000, so there's a range, but based on the application and what you how we assess your need is how we determine the award amount. The grant period is from November to May. I want to pause here because I want to make sure I say this, and I'm going to say it again later. But I want to make sure I say this. We recognize that sometimes the school has given you money for the academic year. You are falling short on the money when it comes to the summer. That is okay. And so when we send out the report and ask you, hey, what'd you do with the money? What's going on? And you say, we still have it because we want to pay for a summer worker to be able to man the summer, the food pantry over the summer, that is perfectly acceptable. Just document it, making sure that you have communicated the plan to use the money. But we absolutely understand that sometimes you have enough budget for the academic year, and but the need, because we know that, and make sure you come to our campaign. But we know that hunger doesn't take breaks. So we know that just because the school year ended and you're out for the summer, students are still hungry. So I wanted to make sure I put that out there. The grant is going to be open until October 15th, Wednesday, October 15th at 11:59, whatever time zone you're in, 11:59. I don't particularly care to be that strict about it. So 11:59 of your time zone, that is when the application will close. All right. Vanessa, is there any questions in the chat just yet? Or am I okay? I'm good to go? All right. I mentioned this earlier, the evaluation criteria. So, we would love to learn about the program that you are applying on behalf of. So, food pantry or meal swipe or basic needs or whatever it is that it is, we want to learn about it. We also want to know about how is it already funded, or if it's not funded at all, if it's based on donations, if it's based on whatever it is, we would love to know how the program is being funded at this moment. We also want to know about your institution, what type of institution it is. Is it public, private, community, 4-year, MSI, HBCU, all those things. We want to know about where is it? Is it in California? Is it in New York? Is it in Mississippi? We want to know where this is because we want to be able to do a real assessment of the area in which your institution is, because we're not going to dance around. Some of our schools are located in really rural and deserted areas, and so we want to make sure we take that into account. And then your students, we want to know, your student enrollment. Are you a large school? You're a small school? We want to know about the Pell students, the Pell student percentage. How many of your students are Pell student or Pell eligible? We also want to know about your international students. Is your school do you have a large population of international students? Because we know that international students are in need, yes, but they also are not allowed to apply for SNAP benefits or jobs or any of those things. So we want to know what percentage of international students you have at your campus. And then finally, we want to know what challenges you're facing, right? So, is it that you only have a little bit of a closet? You have space issues. You don't have refrigeration. You don't have a partnership with the food bank, so you are going to Sam's Club every month. We want to know those things. Like we really want you to tell us what the challenges are, because we know the challenge is funding, right? We know always the challenge is funding, but but there are sometimes other challenges, and so we just want to know about them. Okay. And then so again, I asked you all, had you already, kind of peeked at the application? I hope you had. And then you know that a part of the application requirements is the campus leader survey. So, if you had already had already looked at that one, that'd be great too. And then a partnership agreement. If there were any questions about what we're asking as far as a partnership agreement, some of the main questions we get are, like I mentioned before, what are you going to ask in the survey? Or sometimes people are concerned about, I need more permission to be able to share my logo or our pictures or all those things. Nothing is, nothing is not figure outable. That's my favorite word, figure outable. So if there's an issue, absolutely bring it to us. Email us and say, hey, I'm having a hard time getting someone to sign this because they don't want to use our logo. Let's talk about it. Let's find out what the actual problem is and see if we can address it. but nothing is something that you can just like, take a loss and leave with. And then on the application or in the part, the app, all three of these the agreement, the capability survey, and the application, we want to know who the points of contact are. Because again, I worked in higher education. All of you all are in higher education. We love it, but sometimes the turnover rate is great. And so we want to know who do we contact after, we can't get in touch with this person. And then also we've had the issue before where well-meaning, great people have applied for our grant, and then when we try to send the check to the school has no idea what we're talking about. So we need to talk to an administrator to make sure they know that you all are applying for a grant on behalf of. We don't need to talk to them, but we need you to give us the information just in case we need to talk to them. Because imagine us sending somebody some money and they called us and said, "What is this for? Who is this?" And they didn't know what the program was or who we were. So we're trying to get in front of that so we don't have that issue again. And then in recent years, we have decided to be more efficient and we want to make these payments through ACH. And so sometimes we, tell you to start looking for it now because we have learned that it's not always an easy thing to find on our campuses. So if you can find your routing information, the ACH form, all those things, start looking for it now just in case, just so that you're ready for it. So those are the things that we kind of want to highlight because of the issues that we ran into before. Okay. How am I doing in the chat, Vanessa? Good. Okay. All right. And then timeline. It opened on September 3rd. The application did. And it will close on, again, Wednesday, October 15th, whatever time zone you're in. And then our goal, I want to make sure I say this because we had a little bit of an issue last year. So I want to make sure I say this. Our goal is to have a response to everybody by October 31st. End of October, you should have a response, yay or nay. Life happens, things happen, funders act crazy. Things happen, but by October 15th, what I am promising you is that you will hear something from me, even if it's just to say, hey, we are still reviewing and doing all the things. By October 31st, you will hear something. Now, it might be October 31st at 10 o'clock at night, but that's not the point. October 31st, you'll hear something. Okay? And then we will proceed to, distribute funds in November. I would love to be able to give you a timeline, but usually it just based on how fast I can get the ACH form from you all and get it processed. So early November, definitely before Thanksgiving. So, and then the grant period will go until April, and which is when I will send out the grant report form, right? So that's when I will be reaching out to you all saying, hey, it's time for you all to let me know how things went, how'd you spend the money? Was it helpful? Blah, blah, blah. And for you to tell me what you did with it, how did it work, the student's reaction, the impact that it made, or I have not spent it yet because I am planning to do this with it. You can't tell me like I haven't spent it yet and then you don't give me the plan because then I'm come looking for my money. I'm just joking. But I do want you all to tell me what the plan is at that point. And that's perfectly fine. Over this summer, we had a few people reach out to us and say like, hey, I got about $450 left. What do I do with it? Reach out to us and that's fine. But the response is to roll it over to the next fiscal year if your institution allows you to. Students are still hungry, so roll it over, but definitely let us know in the grant report that I send out, and then we'll go from there.
Can I ask a question on that? I'm sorry, is it okay to
Absolutely,
interrupt?
I got you.
Um, one of the things we're looking at potentially in our area is we do have summer students and there's a unique food insecurity issue in the summertime. Is summer programming and utilization appropriate, or do you really want this to be something that's within the academic year specific?
No, I believe that I am not the person on your campus that knows the need. And so what I'm asking is that when I send the report out to you in April, is for you to respond and tell me we have not spent it because we're holding on to it for the summer. Because that's what you have decided your campus needs. So we are not anti, holding on to it for the summer. We are anti not telling us that you held on to it for the summer. So
Excellent, thank you.
no problem.
I have another question here in the chat.
Hmm.
If we are not yet a partner, do we have time to fill out the form and become one, or would it need to wait until next year?
Nope. We can fill out the form today at 3 o'clock and then fill out the grant application at 3:15.
Woohoo!
It usually takes us about 2, 3 days to approve the partnership agreement and get you into the system. So no, you don't have to wait until next year. Any other questions? All right. And so I just want to say this, I tend to dump a lot of information in these presentations. So what's going to happen is I'm going to, get to the next slide and we're going to ask all the questions. And then at one point, we're going to pause on talking about grants for a second. And we're going to talk about some other stuff. So that way you have time to think about things and then we'll come back to grants. Because I want to give people time to process the questions that they may have.
I
Yes,
have
you
two
got one?
more quick questions. Yes.
Mhm.
So, is there a list of active partners on the website?
Yes, there is a list of active on our campus directory.
Very
Um,
good. And then our next question, funds could be used to pay an annual membership to a local food bank and to support maintenance, delivery, etc., and shopping fees at the food bank, correct?
Correct.
Wonderful. Great questions, y'all.
Those are really great
Thank
questions.
you, Sydney.
Absolutely. And here we are with questions. Okay, so when I send this deck out, these links over here, these are all clickable. So the grants page, the Q, well, once I add this recording to this, then this link will be clickable. And then the frequently asked questions, and of course, if you want to email us any questions. But all right, let me have it. Any questions? Any thoughts?
Shout out to Mariella for sending out the directory map. Thank you.
Thank you.
You
Thank
rock.
you. My colleagues are in the chats. They're helping as best they can because it's a lot of you all. um, any questions? Because if not, then I'm gonna start thinking of old questions that people asked, and then I'm gonna tell you those answers too. Mm, well,
I
here's
do.
okay, go ahead.
Yes, I do have a couple of questions I
Mhm.
actually put down. The first one is how the application process works. I think you explained it, and we basically need the partnership, which for us, we are already one of your partners, and
Mhm.
also the campus leader survey, and we're going to be filling out, and also we're food pantry service located in the US, so we are eligible, right?
Mhm.
So that's all you need for the application, or do we have to submit something else in addition to those?
So the partnership agreement, which you're already a partner, the campus leader survey, which you're going to do, and then there's an actual grant application.
I I did check before, and
Mhm.
it's a link, and it's something that some information we have to fill out.
Mhm.
We've applied for other grants in the past.
Mhm.
Let's say I applied for a grant from NIH, and that's quite different. But looks to me like it's just a link. There are information we just need to fill out. Is that how it works, or we need to submit a package?
Oh, no, it's just the link for the application. It's just basic information. We really tried to make this application low lift. Like we didn't want to go into a full-blown supplemental documents,
Mhm.
real in depth. That's not, we were trying our best not to make this a heavy lift for you all.
Oh, that would be awesome. I appreciate it. And my second question is, how are the applications reviewed, and how are the decisions made? I know you have your own criteria, but I would like to know more if that's possible.
Sure, I'm trying to go back in this. Well, but the criteria, one of the things is we want to know the Pell eligible percentage like the Pell student eligible percentage of your campus. Want to know if you have are you a minority serving institution, where you're located. So, your location matters. We also take into account the challenges that your individual camp pantry is facing. So, if you don't have refrigeration, that might, bump you up. If you didn't have a space, like, like there are different, there's a different rubric for the different challenges. If you didn't have any software to measure the pounds that you're distributing. So those are some examples of how we measure or how we assess your need.
Got it. Thank you. And I do have more questions
It's
actually.
okay.
So my next question is, what information do we need to provide, and if IRB or ethics committee need to be involved? Because for us, we partner with Houston Food Bank,
Mhm.
and we do submit information to them as well.
Okay.
So I would like to know more what information you are asking for, and we can, prepare ahead of time if ethics or IRB or anyone else needs to be involved.
Right. Great question. So what we did was on the campus leader survey, no, I'm sorry, on the partnership agreement, at the top of the partnership agreement, you will see a link that says, this is an example of the campus leader survey. So that way we made sure that you would have the exact questions that we're going to ask you so that you would know if it conflicted with any other agreements that you have with anyone else. I know for sure that in the past, none of the questions we asked create a conflict with IRB because we're not asking for any identifiable information from students or staff. We're asking for poundage and distribution and numbers. But we did put the sample onto the partnership agreement so that you can see it. It's also on our website as well. But what I will do is when I send out this deck, I'll make sure that I add that into the email, like on a standalone. So you'll have a PDF downloadable version of the questions that we asked on the campus leader survey.
Got it. Thank you. And
Absolutely.
last question, sorry
Mhm.
for taking
It's
so long.
okay.
And let's say we applied for the grant and
Mhm.
we got the grant, and how to contract. I know you mentioned that in one of your slides, there's designated administration personnel and also other personnels. And how do you contract and the spending requirements and also unused funds. You explained that we can keep it towards next fiscal year if we can. And also, I would like to add another question, which is if we apply for it, we get it this year, are we allowed to apply for it next year or?
So the only because I heard the last question last. Yes, you can apply for it next year if you win. Uh, I don't know what the, I'm sorry. What was the other question?
If the grant is if we are granted for the money and how do we contract?
How do we contract?
Is there a contract or it's just
So there's an award letter. So once you're awarded, we will send out an award letter. You would have somebody has to sign it to accept the award. So I guess in terms that's the contract. We send out an award letter. Someone has to accept it and sign it, saying that hey, I received this this award. I'm going to sign off on behalf of it. This is the ACH where it can be deposited. I'm going to be responsible for the grant report in the spring. But yes, so that's the contract.
got it. Thank you. That's all I have. I appreciate it. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Of course.
Saki, I saw your hand up a long time ago.
No, it's fine. And it was good information, so I wasn't in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a couple of partnerships. So UA Little Rock has a partnership with a nonprofit that we developed, University District Development. So we sit in a neighborhood that is primarily underserved, marginalized, and through that partnership with that university affiliated nonprofit, we have been awarded a mobile food grant. So we will have a mobile market that will be able to go not just to the neighborhood, but also serve students on campus. I say all of that to say that would it be possible, kind of like yesterday you were telling me about the swipe out hunger vouchers that you can make? Would it be possible for these funds to be used to provide like vouchers, like especially the market will operate on the weekend? Could we make vouchers for students to have access to that mobile meal market, or would it have to go directly to like swipe out to meals on campus?
No, you again, I want to make sure that I say this, and I really want everyone to hear me say that. You are the expert on your campus. If the meals that you need are the meals for your mobile pantry, then I trust your judgment on what your students need on your campus. I am not there, and we are not here to place restrictions on what you can do with the money. We only have one restriction. 10% of it can't go to like a salary or indirect funding. But no, if you want to buy ice cream every Friday because you think that that's what your students need, then I trust your judgment that your students need ice cream every Friday.
Okay, I didn't know if
I,
that had been
that's
something
okay.
that had been done before. And I was trying to
Hmm.
think outside the box to supplement as much as possible, especially since we have a large non-traditional student population. So,
Absolutely. And
We
you'd be
love the
surprised how many times
innovations.
people ask that question.
We do have another question in the chat,
Okay.
which I think we can generate. I don't know if we have it. So, is there a PDF of the application template that could be shared?
I'm sure that I could. No,
Yeah,
I don't have
give us
one right
some
now, but
time. We need
I'm sure I
we
can
need to figure.
export it from the database. So maybe when I send out the email recapping this session, I'll look into that. Who asked that?
That is from Laura Welllever.
Okay. I'll look into it. I can't imagine why I wouldn't be able to export it into and download it. So I'll
Um,
look into it.
Another question we have,
Mhm.
where do we provide the information about percentage of Pell eligible students and the other priority areas you mentioned?
On the
I'm only
application.
seeing the first page of the application.
They're missing the first page of the application.
Oh, no, they're only looking at the first page of the
Oh, it's on
application.
there. It's on the it's on there. Or it's on the no. It's on the campus leader survey.
There we go.
And on top of that, that is a public data point. So it may not be something that I ask. It might just be something I know that we fill in. So don't quote me on that. That's most things that are public data. We don't ask you all to go and find it because no sense in asking you to do something that is already out there in the world. So
Yeah.
if you don't see the question, it's because it's something that we find on the back end.
Mhm. Thank you. Next question. If we are awarded to do the students have to be currently enrolled. Many of our students take semesters off or graduate and still want to utilize our services.
No, that's we believe in a campus community. And so if a student paused and they, still come to the campus for resources, no, there's nothing barring them from receiving the services that you are providing on your campus, and nothing is stopping us from giving you the money to put the food in those services. So kudos to you
Mhm.
for supporting students when they need to take a
Yes.
break.
Next question. Does the 10% for salary or indirect cost apply to student workers who may work within our food pantry? It's a good question.
No, the student workers, that's a direct cost.
Mhm.
So no, the student worker, if you wanted to take the $3,000 and pay the student worker for the whole summer, that is a direct cost. The indirect cost would be this professor who runs the food pantry on the side as one of their, like, that's an indirect cost.
Well put. Well put. Any other questions, y'all? These are great questions, by the way. I'm jotting them down. This is fantastic.
They are great questions. We're gonna add them to the
Yeah.
FAQ. So again, I know that this is a lot of information, and so do you have a question for us?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Can funds be used to provide gift cards for local stores and transportation to students in need to purchase food when the campus dining hall is not open, or for food deliveries, Uber Eats, DoorDash, etc.?
It can, it absolutely can, and I want to make sure and this is not a discredit to you all. This happened last year and the year before. I want to say again, whatever you decide your students need, if you have a lot of students who cannot take bags of groceries on the bus, and so they need a gift card so they can eat tonight, and that's what you choose to spend your money on, we understand and we respect that you are the expert on your campus. I filled out 1,001 grants, and I know how restrictive they can be, and it really impedes your ability to help your students when someone who is not on your campus is telling you, no, 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 you can't buy McDonald's gift cards. When I work in a food desert and McDonald's is the only thing around. So
Yep.
I want to make sure I say it again. We have very little input on what you decide your students need in your community on your campus. I don't know. Maybe gift cards are what they need best because they can't carry home boxes of food from the pantry.
Ensuring that it's informed by student voices. We're looking to you guys to bring the innovations because we want to create the least amount of barriers as possible. So Fantastic ideas, fantastic questions. I think I have two more. My goodness.
It's okay.
Can we fund a graduate assistant?
To do what?
Great question, Zora. I'm hoping
I
it's
think it's
work in
to
there.
work. If it's
Yeah.
a graduate
Okay.
assistant to
Yeah,
work,
that's what I'm
yeah.
assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm in AmeriCorps Vista right now, and my
Mhm.
term ends at the end of the academic year, and we're thinking of how to make this work that I'm doing more permanent. And so I
Mhm.
was just wondering if funding something like a graduate assistant would be feasible.
Yeah, if you're funding a graduate assistant to work in the food pantry, yes, yes, that's acceptable as well.
And we got another one.
Mhm.
Ooh. How many grants do you anticipate awarding this year?
I really couldn't tell you. We
Mhm.
are our amazing fundraising team is still bringing in dollars. So we don't know. The year before it was almost 300. The year before that it was 150. So I try not to give out numbers because they're never accurate. So I don't want to lie to you. I'm sorry.
They rock. Wow.
Yeah, they are amazing.
Mm.
Any other questions for now? Okay, because I have some other stuff I want to share with you guys while you think of more questions. Vanessa will be looking out for more questions, but I want to share some other stuff. Okay? And then we'll come back to questions because you'll have time to have thought of them.
Mhm.
All right. First up, student leader opportunities, right? So when we talk about money, we talk about students needing money, we have what's called a Swipe Leadership Advisory and Action Council. So our student group, right? We are looking for student leaders, so the ones that are working in your pantries, the ones that are already, involved in food justice, to be a part of this advisory and action council. There's a $500 stipend. They will, kind of meet once a month. Is it once a week or once a month? I think it's once a month. They'll be once a month and for about an hour talking about food insecurity and how it affects students and what they can do to advocate for themselves, learning how to, legislation, learning how to, to build collectives. And so this is a really great opportunity. We're also going to have another swipe session for this particular program so that if your students have questions or if they want to, figure out more about how they can get involved, it is Thursday, September 25th at 1 p.m. Central Time. I would love if you all could share when I send this out, share this with your students who you know are doing the work. They're working at that food pantry. They are helping with the food programming on your campus. Let them be a part of something that could push them toward something. And then again, it's a $500 stipend. So that's that. And then the Leadership Council. Vanessa, you want to take it?
I sure do. Hey guys, we have leadership opportunities for everyone today. Alrighty. So if you're somebody who is a dynamic higher ed change maker who works on university and college campuses, who wants to shape anti-hunger work nationwide, well, you've come to the right place. What we're going to be doing is we have a leadership council. The application is live right now. Why would you want to do this? We got perks. We got perks. You can influence national programs and partnerships, connect with peers who are doing the same hard work that you guys are doing, not only for support, but for innovations. And you will also be receiving $1,000 at the end to boost your campus's innovations and initiatives. So really exciting opportunities. Our application does close September 19th. So get those in. We are looking at them, and we're just really excited to build this leadership council together. So thank you guys.
Thank you. And then we have the BIPOC Affinity Group, right? So building community, amplifying leadership, and promote collective healing and collaboration amongst BIPOC leaders. Our first meeting will be September 23rd at 1 p.m. Central Time. I should have put that. And that first meeting will be about rooting ourselves, right? Who we are and why we gather. Sometimes you need to be amongst those who can share the experience that you're going through. And so I will be leading the BIPOC Affinity Group. We meet once a month. Our first meeting is September 23rd at 1 p.m. The link, again, when I send this deck out, all of these things are clickable. But the Leadership Council link, everything is going to be clickable. And so you can register for the BIPOC meeting and join. There'll be time for you to ask questions or, collaborate or get other, best practices from people who are doing the work. And then what's next? What's happening in Swipe Out Hunger next? On the 24th of September, we are going to have our town hall, our virtual town hall, where we will be going over the annual impact report. So, what we did last school year, the numbers we created, the grants we put out, the work that you all did, the students you served, the amount of pounds of meals you gave away, the partnerships that we made. It is just a moment for us to reflect on the strides we've made again, in the fight against college hunger. So I really would love for you all to come and to be a part of it, because we definitely didn't do it alone. And so I want you all to see, how the work you're doing shapes the way that we are growing and innovating and bringing more programs and more resources to you all. Again, the link is on there. And then October swipe session. So we have a swipe session every second Tuesday, for the most part, every second Tuesday of the month, except for Veterans Day in November. Don't worry about that. But every second Tuesday of the month, we have a swipe session. And October swipe session is going to be on international student support. We have all seen an uptick. I don't want to use that word, but yeah, an uptick in the international students and their the need for to support international students. Again, they can't apply for SNAP, they can't apply for jobs, and we want to make sure that we are being as responsive in our approach to supporting all students. And so if you have a large demographic of international students and you want to learn how to support them better, if your international students want to come so they can learn some of the resources that we have gathered for them, we're going to be distributing a international student toolkit at that session. So it'll have some different resources nationwide, and it's going to be a really great time. It's being sponsored by 20M Michelson. And I think that this is going to be amazing. It's going to be a really great experience. I have met with so many of you all who are saying, I have an overwhelming amount of international students that I want to know how to help, and I don't know how. And so this is going to be a really great conversation. And if you've been at Swipe Out Hunger long enough, you know that we have what we call convenings. We try to have them regionally or state-based. Our first convening of this academic school year is the New York tri-state area. That is going to happen October 23rd, and we're going to be meeting with community organizations, and some of our board directors are in New York, and then New York tri-state area schools. We're going to try to find some legislators to come out. So that is that one. But stay on the lookout for the convening that is happening in your area, because we're trying to get around. We're trying to make our way around. Some of them will be in person. Some of them will be virtual. Make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter so you'll know when your area regional is coming. All right, we're back to questions. Any questions? Anybody had
I
time
got
to
some
think?
for you. I got
Yes,
some
huh?
for you.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, and I'm curious about this too. How many applications do we typically receive?
Last year we only received maybe about, Mariella can tell me if I'm wrong, but maybe about 160, maybe. The year before we received, it was almost close to 300.
Wow.
Yeah. Mariella, confirm in the chat if I'm right or wrong about that. I know I'm somewhere around there, close to it.
So I took my best shot at this one, but what is the commitment for the Leadership Council?
So Vanessa's running the Leadership Council for the first time. And
Yes, I
so,
am.
but I ran it the year before, and another colleague ran it last year. It's a 1 hour meeting once a month, and then maybe another hour of stuff to do outside of that 1 hour meeting. So about 2 hours a
Wonderful.
month for the rest of the school year. The last meeting usually happens in April, because we know that everybody's wrapping up in May. But it really is just and meeting once a month, and we'll talk about certain things like, hey, this is an idea that we have, kind of does it pass the smell test of those who are actually doing the work. So again, we can't come up with programming when we don't know what will work and what won't. And then we also talk about different strategies, different best practices, different toolkits that you all need. So, and sometimes the Leadership Council, if they're interested, they'll lead one of the swipe sessions. So we had a young man, he led the swipe session on community gardening. It was something he was passionate about. And so he shared his experience and best practices on starting a community garden at a school. So it's about 2 hours a month commitment.
Wonderful. And then Can one serve on the leadership council more than once?
Yes, we've had it happen. And then he made his way to the board. Is that Bill that asked that?
No, oh, wait, was it? No.
No, okay. Any other
All
questions?
right. Any other questions, y'all? Great questions.
Okay. Well, as you can see, this is our, our network and all these things. Okay. But I have a surprise. And so I have to stop recording because it's a secret surprise. Hold on. Well, Vanessa, can you stop recording because I can't get to it?
Yeah, let me get to it. Give me a minute.
Drum roll.